The Adios Pro 4 is one of the most talked about super shoes right now, and for very good reason. They're fantastic for 5K all the way up to marathon distances. This is a shoe that certainly rewards runners who run with intent. So that's people who run more towards their forefoot and they are really pushing it throughout the race. But it is also a very stable shoe, making it very approachable to a lot of different runners too. That's a few reasons why I believe this one is so popular. Alright, let's kick off with the key specifications. First off, they're worth $255. I'll let you know by the end of this review if I believe they're worth that high price tag. They weigh 7 ounces or 298 grams, which is incredibly lightweight for the category. It has a drop of 6 millimeters, that's 39 millimeters at the heel and 33 millimeters under the forefoot. Now this one's interesting though, when you are standing up normally, not running, this feels like a zero drop shoe, and it does kind of tilt you backwards because of the geometry of the midsole. When you're on the run though, or at least tipping more forward towards the forefoot, and this is why I'm saying it rewards more intentional runners who run faster paces more towards their forefoot. That's where this shoe is designed best, that's where the drop kicks in, and that's where it feels most natural. The upper is using Adidas's LightLock woven mesh. There are no reflective detailings on here, and the mesh is not the most breathable. The midsole is using Lightstrike Pro foam with energy rods too, and that effectively replaces the more traditional carbon plate setup. You can see the rods underneath here, more on that in a moment. The outsole is using light traction rubber with Continental rubber in key wear zones. And for those who need it, there is a little pull tab at the rear. You can flip that back down when you're running, but to slip them on, it does help. It's quite a nice little design. When it comes to sizing and fit, they're very much true to size, go with your usual sizing. But note, these are racing shoes, so they do have a race snug fit, meaning you get a really nice lockdown at the midfoot, and heel lockdown is really good too, so there's no bagginess here. Not like the Evo SL, you're definitely gonna have to go with your usual sizing here. Do not size down. Having said that, there is a bit of a tapered toe box, and if you do have wide feet, I'd consider sizing up a half size. You might actually get a better fit in that circumstance. And beware, it's another Adidas shoe with a very short tongue. I feel like this could really improve the fit over longer distances as well. It's not a real issue on shorter runs, but I do start to notice this shorter tongue putting a little bit of pressure on the front of my foot when I'm running longer distances. Really, just extending that tongue, making it a little bit padded where it needs to be, would improve the fit of this no end. If you're enjoying this review so far, please give a video a like. Really appreciate it when you guys do that. And subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell, and that'll let you know as soon as new videos drop. And if you've run in these shoes, I want to hear your experiences and your thoughts. Please put them in the comments down below. It's going to help me understand how you've been using them, but also it's going to help my community understand whether or not these shoes are going to be best for them. So please put as much information as you can. It's going to help us all out. Well, congratulations, you made it to my performance review. I'm going to start by talking about the ride of this shoe and the midsole geometry, because that's really what gives it the personality that it has. It's interesting because this one feels a lot softer than I'd expect from a shoe that's this fast. And that is, of course, the combination of the geometry, but also the Lightstrike Pro foam and these energy rods that you see here. All of them work together to give you a really nice cushioned yet responsive ride. So it gives enough to give you that shock absorption when you land, and then it really does give back, not just in the foam, but also when you compress the shoe. Note, this is a very stiff shoe, so you will be working your feet a lot harder in order to initiate the flex in these rods, but then you get a lot of power back, forward momentum and propulsion because of how stiff it is. As you can see, it's near impossible for me to flex this shoe, to be able to demonstrate the pop on it. I literally can't flex it enough in the point where it needs to. So that's something that you experience on the run, and it definitely performs better at speed because of it. You need that speed to really put enough force into those energy rods to flex them and get the forward propulsion out of it. The toe spring and those energy rods do give you a really smooth transition from midfoot landing to toe takeoff. You can see this huge toe spring here. It just really helps with the roll, makes everything really smooth. It's not the best if you are a heel striker, but having said that, it is one of the more stable race day shoes out there, making it one of the most approachable ones as well. So what I'm trying to say is it performs best at the forefoot or midfoot, but it's still good at the heel. So if you are someone who does heel strike, you'll still get a lot from this shoe, but you're going to get so much more if you are a more aggressive runner. The fact that it's only 7 ounces in weight does make this a really nimble shoe, and it makes it a very good pick if you are going to be doing shorter races from 5Ks to 10Ks, as well as those longer marathon races. It's super sharp. The upper gives you a really nice race day lock. There's really no movement here. The platform doesn't lag behind your stride. And that's really important because you need as much energy going into that flex that I mentioned before. That's going to help you get the most amount of power from this shoe. That said, the upper isn't very breathable. So that's a little bit of a shame. That's a little bit of a surprise for me because generally race day shoes are more breathable than this. So you may notice that on an incredibly hot, humid day. I don't think you're going to notice that on most seasonal efforts because there is still some airflow which comes through the area where the tongue is. But airflow is blocked around this vamp section. The outsole grip has been fantastic. Haven't had any issues at all. I have run in some wet sections on the pavement in these as well, and not had any slips at all. And durability wise, it's holding up really, really good. If you're wondering where the Adios Pro 4 features on my best race day super shoes roundup, well, follow that link up there. That'll take you to that roundup. And if you are shopping around, it's going to help point you to the right super shoe for you. Is the Adizero Adios Pro 4 worth $255 then? Yes. Yeah, I really like this one. Most super shoes do hover around that $250 price tag, but this is definitely one of the best. It's in my top 3 super shoes right now for very good reason. The cushioning, the responsiveness, the fit, and that lockdown in the upper. It just is a very comfortable, high performance running shoe. And it's going to be very accessible to a lot of people because it is relatively stable when you compare it to a lot of the competition out there. $255 is a lot of money, but this one's definitely worth it. It's going to reward runners who are fully committed, more aggressive, running more towards their forefoot, and they're just going to go for it throughout their race, and they want a comfortable shoe to be able to do it with. This is definitely worth the money. Well, really hope you enjoyed this Adios Pro 4 review. If you did, remember, like the video, really appreciate it, and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell, and I'll see you on the next review. Peace.